What I'm about to tell you is G14 classified. Only share this video with your most trusted guildies, friends, because if this information gets out, ArenaNet might delete my account and get me kicked off YouTube. This build is so forgotten and such a sleeper that it's like seeing a beat up Honda Civic on the street before realizing, wait, why does that thing have street slicks? Used by raid sellers, speedrunners, and general elitists, almost no formal guides exist for this build until today. I introduce to you the sleeper of all sleepers, the Condi DPS Daredevil. Daredevil has been around for a long time and was a class that I initially learned how to play back in place of Weaver when Heart of Thorns was the only expansion and raids required whatever DPS was available. The Daredevil found its role as a reliable Condi and power DPS class that has a very simple rotation just like Vindicator or Mirage, relying on its dodge mechanic to upkeep its damage. For this build you have pretty standard gearing with full Vipers, everything, Runes of the Trapper, and Relic of the Fractal. For food, you are going to run Plate of Kimchi Pancakes and Toxic Focusing Crystals, and don't get baited by Flatbread or Birthday Cake. You want the extra bleed duration. The weapons are going to be Dagger with one dagger placed in each weapon set, so that way you can weapon swap without actually swapping weapons. By doing this, you'll be able to trigger your sigils. One dagger will have Earth, while the other will have Doom. Weapon swapping is part of the way that this build gets its impressive 41k benchmark, so make sure to incorporate it as you are learning its rotation. The build consists of Deadly Arts 3-2-1, Trickery 1-1-3, and Daredevil 1-2-1. Deadly Arts makes abilities deal poison on your target and gives you bonus damage for unique conditions. Trickery gives you some initiative regeneration and the ability to strip boons from your target with your Steel skill, and makes bleeding you apply more effective. Daredevil modifies your dodge, and the Grandmaster ability inflicts conditions on your dodge while giving you the buff Lotus Training, which boosts your damage. Your skills are going to be Channeled Vigor, Devour Venom, Spider Venom, Pair 1000 Needles, with your elite being either Thieves Guild for the DPS option or Basilisk Venom for an extremely powerful CC skill. For Pair 1000 Needles should be the skill that you swap if you need a flex skill for other thief utility. The main damage modifiers that you're going to try to upkeep during your rotation are lead attacks and Lotus Training. You get Lotus Training from using your dodge, and you get lead attacks from spending initiative. So the rotation of dodge, Death Blossom back, and then auto attack, dodge, Death Blossom back will help maintain all of these buffs so that way you can deal the maximum amount of damage. Additionally, if you wanted to simplify the rotation and not include weapon swapping to trigger Sigil of Doom, you can swap Sigil of Doom or Sigil of Bursting to kind of simplify this build. But if you do get good at weapon swapping, the actual highest DPS comes from Sigil of Doom. The rotation of this build is very simple. Dodge into the enemy's hitbox and then use Death Blossom until your initiative is low, and then follow the rotation of dodge, Death Blossom, auto attack chain. Once you have enough initiative for another Death Blossom, or you're about to have enough initiative, you dodge, Death Blossom back to your original starting spot, and then auto attack. And then you just use your Steel whenever it's up, and you use your utility skills off cooldown. This build excels in fights where there is low boss mobility, so if you have a tank that can keep the boss still, or the boss just naturally stands in one spot, this is a great build to try out. You don't have any ranged options here, so keep that in mind for fights that require a lot of spreads. I personally like Daredevil, and this is definitely one of the more sleeper builds that exists. It has high utility, high DPS, and it is super easy to gear and play. So if you need a Condi DPS option for some encounters, definitely consider picking up the Condi Daredevil. And that's the build. Like always, thanks to all my subscribers. If you dig the video, consider subscribing. This was a popular pick on my poll, so if you want to participate, subscribe and head over to my channel, click the community tab, and vote for whatever option you want. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.